The room had been too quiet, filled only with the faint ticking of a clock and the soft rustle of curtains moving with the evening breeze. As you carefully adjusted the blanket over Jungkook, making sure it covered him properly, your fingers lingering for a moment as if you were afraid to let go again after everything that had happened. Don't move too much, okay? You said softly and gently pressed the blanket near his shoulder. Your brows slightly furrowed with concern as your eyes scanned his pale face. Jungkook watched you silently. His soft eyes filled with something deeper, something that had only grown stronger after almost losing everything. I'm not that weak, he murmured with a faint smile and tried to sit up a little straighter, but winced slightly. His hand instinctively moving towards his sides. You immediately frowned. See, you said lightly, and placed your hand on his shoulder and gently pushed him back down against the pillow. You are so, just stay still. Your tone carried a mix of scolding and as care as you adjusted the pillow behind his head. He chuckled quietly. Yes, ma'am, he whispered, his lips curved into a small smile as his gaze softened, watching how carefully you took care of him. You picked up the bowl from the bedside table and sat beside him again. Eat this first, you said, and scooped a small portion and brought it closer to his lips. Your eyes fixed on him, silently urging him to cooperate. Jungkook looked at the spoon, then at you. You are feeding me now? He teased softly, his eyebrows lifted slightly, a playful glint in his eyes despite his weak state. You rolled your eyes. Just eat, you replied. You pushed the spoon slightly closer to his mouth, your lips pressing into a small line. He gave in, opening his mouth and eating quietly, his gaze never leaving your face as you continued feeding him slowly, making sure he didn't rush. After a few bites, he spoke again. You didn't have to do all this, he said softly, his voice lowered, his expression turning serious as his eyes softened. You paused for a second. I wanted to, you replied simply, your voice gentle as you continued feeding him. Your movements calm and steady. Once he finished eating, you handed him the medicine. Take this, you said, and placed the pills in his hand and held the glass of water near him, watching carefully. Jungkook obeyed silently, swallowing the medicine before leaning back against the headboard again. For a moment, silence, heavy and spoken. He looked away first. I need to go now, you said quietly. Your fingers intertwined together nervously as you avoided his gaze. Your voice slightly strained. Jungkook's expression immediately changed. Already? He asked, his brows furrowed, his eyes searching your face as a hint of disappointment appeared. You nodded slowly. Jungsu is alone with Hari. You explained. You glanced at your phone briefly, your lips pressing together. She called. She said she's managing somehow, but I need to go back. Your voice softened, guilt evident in your tone. Jungkook stayed silent for a moment, then he looked at you again. When will you come back? He asked quietly, his fingers gripped the bedsheet slightly, his voice carrying a subtle desperation he couldn't hide. Your heart clenched, you forced a small smile. You need to recover first, you said and looked at him gently. Through your eyes held sadness. Without me around, your voice dropped slightly. He frowned. Why? He asked immediately and leaned forward slightly despite the weakness, his eyes filled with confusion and frustration. I need you here. His voice softened, almost vulnerable as he looked at you. You inhaled slowly. I know, you whispered, your gaze dropped for a moment before lifting again. But I can't come here, not now. Your voice trembled slightly. Jungkook's brow furrowed deeper. Because of them? He asked, his tone darkened slightly. his jaw tightening as he already knew the answer. You nodded. I don't want Yunjin to find out, you said, your fingers tightened together. Your voice firm. Despite the fear beneath it, I don't want him to hurt you again, or Jungsu. Your eyes filled with worry as you looked at him. Jungkook clenched his jaw, then slowly he nodded. Okay, he said quietly, his voice low, though his eyes still held reluctance. You stepped closer and sat beside him again. Talk to Yoongi, you said, your tone becoming more serious as he looked into his eyes. Make a proper plan. We need to expose them, both of them. Your expression hardened slightly. With determination, Jungkook nodded again. I will, he replied, his voice firm this time. His gaze steady as he held your hand gently. A pause, then, when will I meet Jungsu? He asked again. His voice softened now, almost pleading as his eyes searched yours. I want to see him. His grip on your hand tightened slightly. You swallowed hard. I'll tell him everything first, you said slowly. Your eyes blinked with hesitation, your voice careful. Then I'll bring him to you soon. You forced a small, reassuring smile. Jungkook steadied you. Your face for a moment, then nodded. Okay, he whispered, his shoulder relaxed slightly, though the longing in his eyes remained. Silence filled the room again, heavy, emotional. You stood up slowly. I should go now, you said softly. You picked up your bag, your movements slow as if you didn't want to leave. Jungkook looked at you, his eyes lingered. Take care, he said quietly, his voice gentle, his gaze softening as he watched you. You nodded. You too, you replied. Your lips curved into a faint smile, your eyes slightly teary as you looked. As you looked at him one last time. For a moment, neither of you moved. Then you turned and walked towards the door. Each step heavier than the last. As you opened the door and stepped out, Jungkook's eyes remained fixed on you until you disappeared completely, and the room felt empty again.